You know, it's hard to find politicians who are unintentionally funnier than the comedians who mock them.
Mayor Ford, you're smoking crack right now. Where are you getting this?
But then Rob Ford is unlike any politician anywhere.
I was very, very inebriated.
And it's all the more vivid because this is Canada, a place so folksy, so friendly. One assumes that up here, crack is just a sound made in hockey.
Is Canadian crack maple flavored? I mean, how is it different?
I'm the wrong guy to ask.
And you see more proof walking into Toronto City Hall. There are no metal detectors here, no security. You can stroll right in, go past the cute baby visiting City Records, and join the scandal scrum. Oh, and just a few feet away, they are giving away free health care. Even to pesky Americans.
Do I get a lollipop?
Yes, you did.
So you're from the States, right?
Yeah.
How much would you pay if you went to your own doctor for a flu shot?
$75.
$75.
See, while we're shocked by their mayor, this guy is shocked that we actually have to pay for flu shots.
Well, and you got yours free on Canada.
Canadians are far superior human beings. Have you heard that today?
Well...
Until we look up there.
So how did a guy like him get elected in a place like this? Well, in the late 90s, the bursting, bustling metropolis downtown absorbed the blue-collar suburbs into city elections. And after almost a decade of liberal rule, Rob Ford ran as a good old Canuck, a fiscal hawk who would show those bicycle-loving, free-spending liberals downtown a thing or two.
It's time to stop the gravy train.
But while he stayed on message, it was a messy campaign.
Our candidate Ford at the time, had been caught on tape having a conversation with a drug addict where he was prepared to go buy him OxyContin.
Adrienne Batra ran Ford's communication on that campaign, and even she was stunned when after every gaffe and scandal, his poll numbers went up.
People in the city were tired of a tax and spend liberal mayor. The suburbs wanted in, and that was Rob Ford.
Okay, and he's the guy you want to have a beer with.
Yeah, well, or a few.
And while Mayor McCrack turned City Hall into a global punchline, just imagine what it's like to be Rob Ford's runner-up.
That was at the highest moment of the Tea Party.
His name is George Smitherman, and in 2010, everyone knew him as the very liberal, openly gay deputy premier who had presided over the botched rollout of eHealth, a plan to modernize the national healthcare system. Sound familiar? Yeah, they even used one of the same contractors, CGI, that brought us healthcare.gov.
The right wing would probably tell you that there's some conspiracy and $1 billion went missing. None of that is true.
Now, here's the ironic part. When Smitherman admitted an addiction to unspecified party drugs in the 90s, Ford supporters pounced.
His supporters stood in line and asked me about my fitness for office. That's the most stinging bit of it for me on a personal level.
But for some of the proud citizens of Ford Nation these days, fitness for office is a relative term.
Would you vote for him again if this all blew over?
I think so.
Yeah?
He's done what he said he would do.
Though some wish to voice their support anonymously.
Would you rather have somebody taking our money and lying to the people, or just having somebody smoking crack?
But back in the big city, flavors of Ford frustration run the gamut.
He should say now, goodbye, I'm sorry, and go home.
There are sober calls for his exit on the top national newscast, and tears from the federal finance minister.
He'll have to, the mayor will have, at the end of the day, he has to make his own decision.
You say that he's only leaving office on a stretcher or in handcuffs.
I think so.
Toronto police could soon release more damning video or wiretaps related to his friend and driver now accused of drug dealing. And then there are the men in that notorious crack house photo. 2 were shot in March, 1 killed, another about to go on trial.
They were suspected members of a gang called the Dixon City Bloods that operates in and around these high-rise, low-income apartment towers, home to a lot of Somali and Pakistani immigrants.
And when you meet the kids who live here, the easy crack jokes stick in your throat.
So he came campaigning here?
Yeah.
Knocking on doors?
Yeah. He was. I'm not lying. Everybody knows that.
This community organizer says Mayor Ford asked for his vote in the hours before the last election, but he didn't give it. Because he says he has to scrounge for donated computers just to have some way to keep these kids away from gangs and the crack pipe.
Right.
So I never see bad helper or good helper. I never see him at all.
A lot of folks in that immigrant community angry that they've been tarred with the Rob Ford brush. And what's interesting, he used to coach some of those kids in football until he was fired over the summer. The second time he had been fired from coaching. We'll see if he gets fired from his mayoral job if another video drops. But he says he's digging in, not going anywhere.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Bill Weir. And again, welcome. Wonderful.
Great to be here.